Hi, hey everyone. Welcome. One of my favorite topics, motherhood. I love this topic of motherhood. There's so much to talk about. So, how do we maneuver through motherhood? So I really want to focus today on understanding what motherhood is, right? Like motherhood for me has been one of the most magical, amazing experiences of my life, without question. Probably the place where I have grown the most, where I've pushed up against myself the most. Beautiful place to really push ourselves into something greater, right? And like learn how to give unconditionally, learn how to love unconditionally. I don't think I would have learned that without motherhood. And so what we really also need to understand is that motherhood is a role. It's a role that we play in life. And it is not, maybe aspects of motherhood are permanent, but it also doesn't have to be the only role we play in our life. So even if somebody is a stay-at-home mom or the primary caregiver as a mother, when we enter that role, so no matter how much of that role you took on, no matter what it is, we go into it fully because we love our children so much. We just love them to pieces. And so we go into the role of motherhood fully. And what I see happen with people so often is that they get confused and they sort of get into this motherhood trap where they don't know how to be anything but that role of the mother. And it's interesting because when you look at how society treats motherhood is not honored as nearly as much as fatherhood is, right? Like motherhood is still considered a lesser role, a weaker role, a role of cooking and cleaning, right? Like, and those are, please know that I think those are the most amazing things that we can do in our lives, is like learn how to care for another person, right? And so understanding that society views motherhood as a lesser role, and we come into it fully and we take on this lesser than position within society, and we give it our all, and we fall into this place of not being able to move outside of that role of motherhood, especially when our kids are young. And then what happens as our kids get older, we stay stuck in motherhood because what happens is we get comfortable. I mean, this happens with every role we could possibly ever do in society, right? Like, if you're a baker, or if you're a salesperson, or if you're a architect, or, whatever. And it's not just even professions, but it's also other types of, ways of being, dog owner, or let me think what else, like, someone who, an athlete. It could also be hobbies, right? We take on these roles and we stay in them. And at first they're healthy and they're nurturing to us. But what happens with motherhood, especially because it's a lesser role in society, is that motherhood does not keep getting nurtured because our society actually doesn't support motherhood. Our society doesn't value motherhood. And so we stay in this role for years and years and years and years, and we find ourselves being depleted, absolutely depleted fully. And so, I just find that fascinating because we also get stuck in it because it becomes comfortable, right? Like the idea in this lesser than role, hi EB, in this lesser than role of motherhood, we work hard, we work our butts off, and then it's that lesser role. And so the idea, we get comfortable in that because the idea of stepping into something bigger is scary to a mother because we've been cooking and cleaning and organizing play dates and hanging out with our kids and being present and doing all these other things, driving them to events and activities in school and so forth. That's motherhood. And so this idea of stepping into something else becomes scary because we lose sight of some of the skills that we might have developed before motherhood. And so that is petrifying to so many women. And what I really want you to understand today is that you can move forward. Like we don't it's important to recognize that we get stuck in this role. We can get stuck in any role. And this role of motherhood, we get comfortable and we get stuck. And we can have more than that. And I'm not devaluing what motherhood is. I'm just saying, because I value so high motherhood, it's been the best thing I've ever done in my life. And I know I'm more than that. I know that I have other roles that I play in the world. I have many different roles I play in the world. That's just one role. And I put my full heart into it. But in order to be able to move outside of motherhood, we need to be able to let go of the ideas around motherhood, the ideas around being lesser than and being a lower level within society and devalued in society. Just a mother, right? Like that's a term that I hear all the time, just a mother. And that's so not true. But it's also one role. So ideally, you're fully committed to that role, but it doesn't take up 100% of your life. If you want something more, and there's time periods, especially when the kids are young, that might be everything that you need and want, for sure. If you have the privilege of being able to do that. But we also get to, when we have the desire for something more in our lives, what we have to do is learn how to let go well. Let go of the ideas we have around motherhood and that, and being, accepted into this lesser role of motherhood. And the other big point here is grieving the loss of that, right? When we get comfortable in that role, when we are scared to step into something bigger, we need to grieve. We need to grieve in order to let go of our ideas around motherhood so we can move into something else. I hope that makes sense. It's such a big topic and a big idea to be able to do that, but it's so important to, and I'm not saying any particular idea around if someone is a part-time mother or a full-time mother. That's not what we're talking about here. We're really talking about your goals and dreams and being able to decide how much of that role of motherhood you want to take, and then how to maneuver through your life in motherhood and outside of motherhood. If you're, working, or if you're an athlete, or if you have particular hobbies or things that you enjoy doing, that we need to be able to think about these things. And especially, I know so many women who their kids are growing up and getting older, and letting go of motherhood is a grieving process. And I'm experiencing that myself. My kids are 14 and 17, so I still have more time, but I have a lot more free time now. And I'm utilizing that to excel in my own business. And so in a couple different businesses, actually. So it's beautiful to be able to learn. Thank you for the hearts. And yeah, thank you so much. Hi, Sinead. Hey, so it's beautiful to be able to learn how to do that. And so I'm signing off right now, Sinead, and I would love your comments. And yeah, let me know how you maneuver through motherhood, what that's like for you. And I'd love to know more. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and thanks for coming. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.